Here we are. The review of the View.
Okay.
All right.
Our view.
It's our view. All right, so here we go. I read the comments.
Disclaimers.
I don't tell my sister all the comments. Some comments
I
are
really
just
don't
stupid,
care.
so.
I said, if you guys got some negative stuff
All
to
right,
say,
here we go.
Talk about my mom.
I don't watch the show. She watches the show. Mm-hmm. So Lenora's going to tell us what the show was. We watch the show, or she watches the show for people like us who don't watch it, and then we comment on it. And so you don't have to watch it if you don't want to.
Right, and it's our comments.
And it's just our view. So here we go.
Our view.
Right.
And it may be a totally off view and don't make sense kind of view, but who cares?
So here's the review of the review. Today's date, what is it, the 26th?
25th.
Or is it 25th? Oh, today is July 25th, 2022.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So what did they talk about?
Well, one of the things they talked about, of course, they had that big GOP turning point gathering. I think that's like a convention or something that kind of rouses up the young people, the Republicans.
Okay.
So, like my sister and I have shared with you guys, we're not Republican, we're not Democratic.
Right.
We vote what is the important issues for us.
Right.
And it can be from both sides, financially, with our wars with other countries, with me retiring.
Right.
So they was just talking mainly, Sarah wasn't really liking this group because it does rally up, and that's probably their goal, is to get the young people charged up. Because she said a lot of it is mess, a lot of it is lies.
Oh, okay.
Even fabricate. You had Trump there.
So
you can imagine with Trump there what things he's saying.
Right.
One of the things they talked about is he's thinking that there's
I find him funny.
I think he is funny. You guys, I
don't know why people
y'all
get so mad at him.
Shoot at me or whatever, but the man is... He's reality TV.
He's a moron to me, but he's funny.
I love it
because
he gives you a show, and even the crowd. And the sad thing about it, the 4 years that he is president. Now, some of y'all may like him. You may be supportive for him, and that's fine.
Some of them don't like him, but they like the fact that he votes the way they want him.
Yeah, they like the freedom that he has. He's not a politician.
This one guy I saw on TikTok, he said he showed a little bit of the debate with Trump and with Hillary, and Trump said at the debate, if I win, I'm going to put Supreme Court justices in, and they're going to overturn Roe versus Wade. And then the camera went to Hillary, and she said, no, if I win, we're going to uphold it. So he said, for every last one of you who didn't vote for Hillary, you have some nerve to be out picketing and holding signs up about Roe versus Wade when he told you
what he was going to do.
And he did. And because you didn't like her, you didn't vote for her. Republicans had sense enough to say, I may not like him, but I'll vote for him because he'll get what I need him to do.
You think a lot of times
Democrats
do
that in their minds, you will lose every single race.
The Democrats are very emotional.
Voters. I don't like her, so you're not going to vote for her.
You're not going to vote for her.
Whereas Republicans are like, look.
So what does that say?
I don't care nothing about this man.
Him better than her? Is she the lesser of the two evils?
They don't. I think Republicans understand that they play chess, and Democrats are playing checkers. They play chess.
Okay.
They think
they make
8, 9, moves. 10 rows ahead.
Yes.
They think you may have gotten me this 4 years, the next 4 years,
move on you.
But in 10 years, we will dominate you for the next 30 years.
Yes.
They play chess.
Okay.
And Democrats play checkers.
And that's what they're trying to do even with the Senate. Like Herschel Walker in his state. They're really trying to build the Senate with their numbers.
Right.
So
Sarah didn't like the GOP.
Well, she was just saying a lot of the stuff that they say. Like they were saying with the is this are the GOP moving on to other rising stars? Is there still a percentage, it sounds like, that still supports Trump?
Yeah, why would they move on to anybody else?
They talked about Liz Cheney, if she's possibly going to run, and she said she hasn't stated anything, so she might run. I don't know. She's been pretty much spearheading that whole committee that's looking at the January 6th thing.
If I was Republican, I wouldn't vote for anybody other than Trump.
But I think I noticed how Trump was with the Celebrity Apprentice, or was it Celebrity Apprentice?
His show.
He knows how to move people in their opinions and their thoughts on things.
And control the media.
He uses the media to get what he wants and get a thought out there, because he knows how gullible a lot of people in America are.
I told my sister before,
especially when the lady made the comment that before him, how gullible America is, when she kept thinking that Obama is a Muslim.
I told my sister that if I was Republican, I'm not Democrat or Republican, why would I not vote for Trump? Because Trump to me is like, he's like that barking dog in the gate that's around the house, and he's barking, and everybody's looking at the barking dog. Nobody's looking at the guys that's going in the back of the house that's coming in to rob you.
Because they looking at
they are looking at the dog that's in the front that's barking, and they're not thinking,
look at this.
Look, there's things going on in the house. You're so worried about the dog on the outside that you're not looking at what's going on the inside. So why would I not support him? If I was anybody in a Republican, definitely support him, because they're going to put all their attention on him, and we can do things and get things and get things signed and get all that stuff done.
You notice, though, when he was in office, that shiny red bright object that he was shining over here,
it worked.
You would hear in the news the next day that something was signed.
Yeah. And a bill was passed.
A bill was passed.
So I would vote for him.
We were all talking about the comment he made about the blonde lady that was not working for him anymore. And so it's just stuff like that. That's a chess move.
Yeah, it's a chess move.
That's a chess move. But they were laughing about how he feels like he's mostly persecuted person in America.
Well, he knows he's not, but he wants to say that.
Yeah,
that's why I don't know why people. Why do y'all keep getting mad? He knows what he's saying.
Yeah, and it was funny because they were talking about what other people could possibly run and represent the Republican Party.
Nobody.
They mentioned
what's his name? The governor. Yeah, the governor of Florida.
And then a lot of them was kind of saying about there was some protesters outside of the whole GOP Turning Point Convention or whatever they call it, that were neo-Nazis and more on that. And they was just taken back at how that wasn't spoken against in the GOP Turning Point times when they were on stage. Usually you would bring light to, I don't know what they doing out there, but we ain't for that.
Why would
nobody said anything about that? So it's almost like not saying anything sometimes can mean that you agree with it.
I don't think
or you don't care about it, that it's causing some.
Again,
you got neo-Nazis out.
Again,
anybody that's Jewish will go.
Again,
what the heck?
It's the barking dog. Republicans play chess. Democrats play checkers. Democrats would spend their whole convention talking about the people protesting outside, right? And that will draw attention to what y'all are actually saying at the convention. Whereas Republicans play chess. If we don't talk about it, that's what you'll talk about. That we don't talk about it. You won't talk about all the other things that we're talking about.
We're upset if we're not talking about it, because it's not my job. My goal was for people to talk about it, because it brings attention, it brings awareness, it brings light. One of the things that Joyce said, it was funny, because they were talking about DeSantis and him running, and then of course Cheney, Liz, and herself. But she was saying, and Joy's funny. I watch it for the comic relief.
Joy can't stand Trump.
I know. She said, "Why trade a headache for an upset stomach?"
Oh, Trump for DeSantis.
And I laughed because I thought about that, and Whoopi laughed so hard. She said, "I remember that commercial."
That's true.
Why trade a headache for an upset stomach?
Either way, it's still a pain.
That's cute. I gotta use that.
That's true.
I had to say
where
that.
you want pain more than anything. I would have said butt. You a pain in the butt or a pain in the head?
Oh my God!
Which one you want? You want a pain in your butt or you want a pain in your head?
It's gonna be pain somewhere.
Either way you gonna have pain.
That's funny.
That's a good
But
one.
Anna didn't think that people are gonna move on from Trump.
No, why would they?
There'd be no reason to. They support it.
No.
Another topic, and we can be briefly about this one because it was basically this Congressman Matt Gaetz. He talks a lot. Apparently, Now here's the thing: if you're gonna try to be funny with the comments you're making about the pro-lifers, the pro-choicers, I'm sorry, because he's pro-life.
Okay.
He was trying to crack on the women that are protesting, and he's calling them pro-abortion.
Okay.
Now, Sarah had to clean that up. She said, what the heck is he talking about? Pro-choice doesn't mean pro-abortion.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Right. It's not cut and dry. But I didn't mean to touch.
I know.
Touch nothing.
No. When you bang and
I'm sorry.
I'm generic here, y'all.
She told me not to touch the camera. So,
all right. Go
ahead. She's had to clean that up again. But I think he was trying to be funny, saying that the women, of the women, and being when you know how you kind of crack on somebody and throw shade. He was trying to crack on the women that protest pro-choice are ugly. Why would they even worry about getting pregnant and having an abortion? Because nobody wants them.
Okay.
Those kind of comments. He was really ugly and trying to be funny with it.
And he wasn't.
And he made a comment.
Where's he from? Do we know?
You know, I don't know what state. Somebody can Google that.
Okay.
What state is Congressman? Now, he's the one that was been accused for paying for sex.
Well, of course he would make comments about somebody, but he's probably, if he pays for sex, he's probably had a couple of abortions.
Ooh, there's
allegedly.
To think about. But of course,
if he's sleeping with prostitutes, we don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, and they had to come back with their legal disclaimer to say, about the protecting him. So that was that area of talking. It wasn't much to talk about.
But that's why I said
allegedly. Trying to crack on all the women that are pro-choice.
It's not allegedly that he's a moron.
Yeah, that's true.
That part we could say.
I got to see more of him because I've heard him talk before. But he probably was saying this at that GOP turning point. That was their opportunity.
So everybody was being funny.
Yeah. So other than that, let's see another hot topic. Whoopi said over 12 years she's been trying to produce and put out that movie on Emmett Till.
Oh, yeah.
And
she was in one.
She's in it. She's the grandmother.
She was in one, I believe, where she was. Oh no, that was what's his name? Not Emmett Till.
And just bringing that to life in her version of the movie, and I think it's going to come out in some later on in the year.
I wonder how she's going to approach that, because with all the new information, is she going to approach it historically, or is she going to approach it with the hindsight of what we know now? We know now that it was fake. We know now that the lady said she made it up. The lady's still living. Why she not in jail, I have no idea. Who cares if she's old or not? If you didn't have any problems wrestling Bill Cosby to jail, they've been picketing outside I think she's in a nursing home or something. She's old as dirt. But she should spend the rest of her life in jail, even if that's 5 days. Why should she die in a regular bed?
5 days.
She needs to die behind bars.
Isn't that sad when you think about that situation and how horrible it was?
Yeah.
How one person's
lie.
And
because of that, this boy was whipped and beat with beyond recognition, dragged, and done everything. And so, is she going to approach it? That's what I'm wondering.
That's a good question. She's in the show herself. She's in the movie.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
So it may be the moment of it, and then I don't know. Up until,
or are they going to do one of those ones where they show what we've known, and then have like a black screen with the words that come up, typewritten? Well, since 2022, it's been found out that, or whatever, that this was all a lie.
Right. And Anna made a good point. She said, you know what, Whoopi, thank you for, I'm glad that this is this is actually sad that we're still dealing with a lot of the situations with people of color, civil rights in general, whether you're gay, whether you're a person of color, or any discrimination. And systemic racism and all of that we're still dealing with that even as today.
Is that why she wants to do the movie?
Well, she said it's just taken her 12 years, so I guess this is just the time now to launch it. I don't know.
There's a part of me that's like, it's so old, and so people are so multicultural now. Is it even relevant now?
It's history. Whoopi likes history because it gives you understanding of where we are, where we've gone, how far we've come, if we've even moved the needle, how much we moved the needle. So you can't go wrong with this story because it's so real.
Right.
And I think there's still people to this day who
don't know the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's good that she brought that up. And then they ended with, as far as their hot topics, with Charlemagne the God, his late night show that's coming out. That
he had one before.
Hell of a week.
He's coming back.
I think he's coming back. He's changed the name or something.
Oh,
or is this a new one?
Well, it was one where it was him, and he would just sit there and do commentary on things that was going on in the world.
And and it's so funny because each lady had a comment to ask, a question to ask him, and pretty much I don't watch him all the time.
I watch the Breakfast Club, which we I think we're going to start reviewing, like how we do this, The View. Guys, we may start reviewing the Breakfast Club.
Things that they talk about.
Because I watch the Breakfast Club every day. Lenora doesn't watch it.
Right.
And that will give us ability to talk about things more in entertainment, and also things that's more like kind of general topics, where The View is more political. So we might do that.
And they'll throw in a few entertainment.
Where the Breakfast Club, it may be some things we could talk about that's fun.
And he has guests on there too, right?
Yeah.
So
they have guests. So we may do that. I think
we'll
so.
See.
We'll see. If we do, we'll do it tonight. You guys come back tonight. But go ahead.
But I think he said the last time he was on The View was like 2017 or 2016, and he said he had his book out.
What questions did they ask him?
Well, one of the questions they had, because they had talked earlier about the GOP and people running, and he said, what do you think about, how do you feel about Liz Cheney and her, as far as her position and what she's taken and her stands and whatever? And he pretty much said, what do you mean how I feel? I was like, oh Lord, be careful now, be careful. He said, I don't feel nothing about her. He said 4 years she was not what is it? She didn't come out 4 years under Trump, and I'm supposed to be like saying she's a hero, like everybody's saying. And he says the same thing that Sonny says. Sonny doesn't like her. I don't care how well she's doing in this whole committee hearings and stuff. There's things that she.
Well, her dad is.
I know, but the one thing that
who ran
the
presidency, he was the president.
And Charlamagne said it too. He said, and I had to write it. He said, a vote. Let's see. What
you want to blow it up?
He said, does not see her as a hero if she voted against the John Lewis Voting Rights Bill, and like Sonny said. That goes against the whole platform, the whole purpose of our voting rights and freedom. And she votes against it.
But why did she vote against it? Because a lot of times,
Sonny said her reasons for voting against it were not strong enough to do that.
This is my issue that I have with both Democrats and Republicans.
Okay.
A lot of times when they present these bills, they pack it with so many other things. And so when somebody votes down something, it sounds like they voted down the main thing. Like they can have a bill like that, and then it'll be like in there, everybody should receive a washing machine if you're under 20. And you're like, I'm not voting for that bill. So you don't want black people to vote. No, I don't want every black person in the country to get a washing machine.
What was the reason?
Yeah, we got to hear. So on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, if somebody votes down a bill, ask why. Why did you vote down this bill? What was in that bill that you didn't like? Now, if they don't have a good reason, it's really only because everybody else voted down, and I'm not going to be the only person that's not.
Because they'll be ridiculed. They'll just slam me, and my people won't vote for me no more.
Of course. In my district, they don't care if everybody gets a washing machine. But in the majority of the Republican things, no, they don't want everybody to have a washing machine.
But you know what is so funny?
Sometimes they got to go with their party, and that's why they voted against
It's funny that you said that, because I want to respect people like Sonny, people like Charlamagne, and other people that do what they do. If you've done your homework.
Exactly.
You can even say, we found no reason why she did or didn't whatever.
Right.
But if you just outwardly say, I don't like her because she voted down the John
What's
Lewis.
the reason?
What was her reason? And we need to give fairness to everybody. And I say that to even you guys.
But we try to be fair and impartial. We try to think
we're so quick
to
kill them.
There are some things where I'm not fair and I just have my own opinion and it is what it is.
Okay.
And then there's some things where I kind of like, okay, well, maybe. But the bottom line is there's some things that we're informed about, and then there's some things we're knuckleheads about. Sorry. Yeah. I'm not going to read.
But
I don't care why she voted that bill down,
understand.
So I'm not going to read up on it.
But understand.
I might after this.
Understand if we're going to be knucklehead about it, we need to allow people to have their knucklehead moments too.
Of course. Or if somebody in the comment section has general information, share it. Mm-hmm. Don't just come back and say, oh, you're a knucklehead. Okay, why you disagree? If you have general knowledge about something, educate everybody else that's reading
us out,
right? Or anybody,
know anything,
or anything, or dogging another person out that comments.
But some people
come back and say
they have no clue themselves.
Exactly, exactly. They're stupid too. At least I say I'm stupid. You're dumb and you don't admit it. That's the worst dummy.
Yes.
A dummy that don't know they dumb.
All
right, go ahead.
Another thing they talk.
Most of us know we ignorant about most stuff.
I know.
And we admit it.
And they did, of course, ask him, of course, his opinion on, I think Whoopi said, what do you think they should be doing as far as the Senate and all of the House, you know, representatives and all of that. And the way Whoopi came at it, and I do understand Whoopi's point, because she's pretty consistent. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and she's made this comment, a lot of times we wolf and say, they should be doing this. Mm-hmm. They should be doing this. Mm-hmm. I think they should do this, this, and this. Whoopi says, can they do that?
That's
that and that.
Exactly.
We are so quick to say, Biden needs to do this.
Exactly.
Well, Obama should have done this. And we don't know that they're trying to do it, but yet these knuckleheads in the Senate are going blah, 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 blah.
But the difference...
What can they do? What should they do?
Right.
But that's two different things.
The difference between Biden and Trump is Trump understands that most Americans don't get that. So he's the one that says, if you vote for me for president, there'll be a roast in every pot. He's that guy. And everybody goes, he said a roast will be in every pot.
Yes.
I'm going to vote for him. He knows he can't put a roast in every pot.
But you know what?
But it doesn't matter.
But I do
if he does it or not.
I do like it when you used him as an example, because if the time comes for the roast to be in every pot, he'll find a scapegoat to say why it wasn't done.
I told you guys, if you vote for me, there'll be a roast in every pot. But because of the Democrats, and they don't want everybody to have roast.
That witch lady and
because there's a bunch of vegans that are Democrats.
They don't care about us.
There's a bunch of vegetarians that are
and the people sitting there going, oh yeah, you're right.
They hate meat eaters. If they didn't hate meat eaters, they would have allowed me to put a roast in every pot.
Yeah.
So blame them.
That's a chess move.
And the Democrats don't do that.
That's right.
So when Biden is being old man Biden and yelling at everybody, he should say, do what Trump does. Why are you asking me that for? Why don't you go ask some of those ding-dong, biggie-bang Republicans over there?
They're the ones blocking my thing.
If it was up to them, we'll all be back in 1920, roaring 20s.
Yes.
If you're an African-American out there, you might as well just go out and put some slave shoes on, because if it was up to the Republicans, you guys would be locked up.
Yes.
Put back and shipped back over to Africa. They don't go extreme like that.
Don't.
And Republicans do. You just said that Republican congressman
was
if you are pro-choice,
most of y'all look like y'all wouldn't get pregnant anyway.
Ugly and nobody wants you. That's why you're pro-choice. Democrats don't do that.
No.
Because that's not politically correct.
No.
It's not right to say if you're pro-life, it's probably because you have 100 babies.
Ooh, and you using the
And
government
so that's why you're a pro-lifer, because you have 100 children and you look like Mom Pa Kettle. See, even though that's dumb, I'm just saying this. You look like Mom Pa Kettle.
They don't play. They don't
you
know.
Country bumpkins. You walk around with no shoes. See, they don't play games like that.
One comment that
and all of it is stupid. Believe me, I know.
That what's her name? Candy on the Housewives of Atlanta. She was I guess she and Margot was going back and forth, and Candy said, I ain't going with what Michelle Obama say. When you go low, you go high. She said, when you go low, I'm going low.
Right.
And I don't know if we need that mentality on both sides. But when you go low, I'm going to go lower.
I guess the main goal is, I guess people feel like when Michelle said that, ultimately, the good rises to the top.
Okay.
And so it doesn't hurt. It doesn't. It's not
some good seeds because you're going to reap a harvest.
It's not good to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
You always got to. Somebody has to be the better person.
That's hard to do.
And because of that, that's why you're marching right now with signs. Because Roe versus Wade
was overturned.
Because of that. Because of being nice and I want to be polite. And you may not have to get, you don't have to get as dirty. But y'all need to get some kind of, you got to get some kind of.
Get in the mud fight with them. Don't fret to get mud on
you can't just be.
And it may go in your face. It may go in your mouth. But just get in there and sling some mud too.
You need to do something. Or if you don't want to do it as a party, find a scapegoat.
That congressman guy, if they make comments about him, like, didn't we just see you
find a scapegoat
paying for 2 prostitutes?
Like the Republicans do. Trump is their scapegoat. They go, talk about him. That's the one that's making all those. Find a Democrat that has just a low baller that just says the worst disgusting things, and they'll focus on him and leave y'all alone. They don't want to throw one to the wolves.
I don't know what kind of chess moves we can give them.
You got to get one. Find one. So one Democrat that's just a low tosser, just a no good, dirty scoundrel that will get in the mud and fight.
But one of the things
and let him be the scapegoat.
But when they Whoopi and them had asked him that, like, what I want to hear from you, Charlamagne, what do you feel that they can do? Not so much what they should do.
Right.
And he said, I had to write them down. He said, a vote to get rid of the filibusters so we properly legislate.
Which they didn't, but go ahead.
Then expand the Supreme Court. That's how you protect voting rights.
He's saying stuff that's not going to happen.
But that's what he was saying. If they can do at least three of those things
that's what Whoopi was saying. They can't. They don't have enough votes to do that.
And put pressure on the DOJ to prosecute everyone involved in January 6th.
Not going to happen. All the 3 things that he just said can't happen.
There's no way they can happen.
On. They don't have enough votes.
That's what Whoopi was trying to get.
You can't do it. Yes, he's not.
He was trying to say, I've had everybody come on this show with their opinions and what they could do, what they could do, what they should do, what they can do. She's saying, my question is, can they do that?
No, they can't.
And nobody answers that.
Because I'll answer for them. You can't. You don't have enough votes. You're not going to add to the Supreme Court because you need Republicans to vote for that. But see, and they're not going to do that.
To your point, though, the election coming up, they're trying to fill those Republican seats even more so.
Exactly.
So they can continue to do the wall hand.
Exactly.
Nope. So
that
was the main thing.
That was the show.
But I wanted to end on this because I don't watch the Breakfast Club, but I don't think I've ever asked him where did his name come from.
Charlemagne the God.
And he talked about his name. He said when he was younger.
Charlemagne or the God?
Charlemagne.
Okay, go ahead.
He said when he was about 17 years old, I guess he saw his name's. He didn't want Charles or Charlie and people going back because he was selling drugs and stuff.
Right.
He
used to be a drug dealer.
I didn't know that. And he didn't want nobody going back to tell his family, Charlie out there selling Charlie out there. So he saw the name Charles the Great which means is French
so
for
funny.
Charlemagne.
Okay.
And
that's when
do you know where the God came from?
No, where?
No, he didn't say that. That's what I'm saying. Do you know?
No, I don't know.
That's the part of the name I would like to know.
I thought he had it like from Howard Stern, because Howard Stern says that he's the
God of the TV,
the
talk show.
Media. I should know this, but the media, king of all media. So you can name, and he used to say you can name yourself anything. People will call you that.
Yeah.
So I thought, because he watches Howard Stern like I do.
Okay.
So I thought he got it from that. You can name yourself anything, and people will call you that. But it'd be nice to know where he got that from.
But this is why I wanted to say this, because this was on Sarah when her questioning came, where did the name come from, and then he mentioned that. He says, sometime when you're younger, you create character or names to hide behind, insecurity, low self-esteem.
Okay.
And he says, now that he's older, he's gotten therapy, and he's not ashamed to say it.
Okay.
And Sarah says, I wanted you to talk more about that, because a lot of times people think that's taboo.
Right.
When you talk about going to therapy. And he says, I don't have a problem with going to my therapist every Friday. He said, I just felt like me talking to people and giving
in
them,
the black community, it's like taboo.
Yeah, giving them clarity and direction, and what I'm being transparent, I'm being real, I'm being the best me.
It's usually
because me is being healed and whatever,
Yeah.
and I don't have to hide behind anything anymore per se. And she said, well, what should we call you? You said, well, my mom and my aunts are all watching me, and my mom would want you to call me Lanier.
Yeah, that's his
Lanier.
name.
And when Whoopi got ready to thank him for being on the show, she said, well, thank you. She said Lanier on honor your mom. Lamar or Lenar.
I think it's Lenar.
Lenar. It's like Lenar, I think.
Because Monique said it just to be funny. She kept calling him his real name. And he's like, I like my real name. You not heard me.
It's a nice name.
Yeah, when she was
Lenar,
beefing with him.
different.
We're not going to bring up Monique anymore, but go ahead.
No, I like to. Why not?
Okay.
You got her listeners listening in. They probably want to go, ooh, Monique, what you got to say about it?
Go ahead.
But she just said out of respect.
She kept saying his name to be funny. They thinking it was hurting him, and he was like, "I like my name, so you're not hurting me."
Yeah. So,
okay.
But yeah, that was interesting to get a little bit of background to that and where that name came from. I don't know where the God came from, but
we'll find out. If you know where Charlamagne got the God from, comment that down below. So that was, we got the view. We got it in. We're trying to get in under 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So we got the view in. Anything else?
No, that was it.
All right, y'all. So we did today's date, 7/25, review of the view. Let us know what you think. Comment down below. If you have disagree, let us know why. If you
got some shade to throw, just throw it.
And sometimes I reply back. Sometimes I delete you. I might block you. I might delete you.
Well,
or I might answer back.
Because I'm like, let me see.
I might answer you back. Some people I answer back.
Too. Hey,
No, I don't answer back nice though.
I know. I want her to. I want her to answer back and crack. And have a joke on them or something.
Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Sometimes it's not she's in the mood.
You guys, we're not even famous, and I can't even tell you how many comments I get a day.
So imagine some people
with time to look at all
millions of followers.
No time. Yeah. And if we miss your comment, trust me, it's so many we won't even see them. So hope I try to look at all of them now. All right, y'all. So that was another Woods Report. See y'all later.